Welcome to Trending Update USA. I am Steffan, and tonight we begin with a heartbreaking and deeply emotional story that has sent shockwaves through the global tennis community. Aryna Sabalenka, one of the most powerful and beloved figures in modern sports, is facing an unthinkable tragedy that has left fans, fellow athletes, and supporters around the world stunned and pouring out messages of strength, sympathy, and solidarity. As a player who built her career on resilience, force, and unmatched competitive intensity, Sabalenka now finds herself confronting a moment that goes far beyond the court, a moment that has reminded millions that even the strongest athletes carry battles the world rarely sees. And as this tragedy unfolds, tennis fans everywhere are uniting in an extraordinary show of support, proving once again how deeply connected people become to these athletes who inspire them. In a year marked by career highs, emotional victories, and breathtaking performances, few could have imagined that Sabalenka would be delivering news of such devastating magnitude. Details remain limited out of respect for privacy, but what has been confirmed has already been enough to break hearts across continents. Whether you are a longtime follower of her journey or a casual fan of the sport, you can feel the weight of what she is facing through the overwhelming response pouring in from every corner of the globe. Messages from organizations, former rivals, current top players, iconic retired champions, and everyday supporters began flooding social media within minutes, showing just how deeply Sabalenka's strength and spirit have resonated with the world. Instead of seeing her hoist trophies, deliver fiery post-match interviews, or fight through three-set thrillers, fans today see her surrounded by love, compassion, and prayers. Top athletes who usually battle her at Grand Slams are now rallying behind her in a display of humanity far more powerful than any scoreboard or ranking. Coco Gauff, who has shared both intense matches and warm moments with Sabalenka, posted a heartfelt message acknowledging how difficult times like these transcend sport. Iga Swiatek expressed deep condolences, reminding fans that life's fragility affects everyone, even those who appear strongest under the bright spotlight of international pressure. Elena Rybakina, known for her composed demeanor, offered rare emotional words, highlighting her respect and admiration for Sabalenka's perseverance both on and off the court. Madison Keys, Bianca Andreescu, Ons Jabeur, Naomi Osaka, athletes with different backgrounds, personalities, and paths, joined in the chorus of empathy, proving that the tennis world is truly a family when one of their own suffers. The global reaction has been overwhelming. Fans from Europe, Asia, North America, South America, Africa, and beyond have been posting tributes, prayers, artwork, and memories of watching Sabalenka's most iconic moments, her roaring celebrations, her teary triumphs, her dazzling comebacks, and her unmatched drive. These moments now carry a bittersweet emotional weight as supporters reflect on the human behind the athlete, someone who has repeatedly let fans into her life, her challenges, and her most vulnerable moments. Communities on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Reddit have all come together, reminding each other to show compassion not just today but always, because even the fiercest competitors carry private pain. Though Sabalenka has built her identity around strength, both emotional and physical, her recent statements reveal a side of her that fans don't always see. Her courage in speaking openly during such a heartbreaking time has earned widespread respect. She didn't have to share her struggle, she didn't owe the world any explanation. But she chose openness, and that vulnerability has become a powerful reminder of how deeply she values the support she receives. Her words, though brief, were filled with raw emotion, honesty, and gratitude. Supporters are now emphasizing the importance of allowing her space to heal, while still reminding her that millions are keeping her in their thoughts. Behind the scenes, the WTA community has also mobilized. Tournament directors have issued official statements. Fellow players have requested moments of silence. Coaches, hitting partners, and training staff who have worked with Sabalenka throughout the years have shared heartfelt reflections on her kindness, her fierce determination, and her loyalty to the people around her. Many spoke about the side of Sabalenka that fans rarely witness, the teammate who motivates others in practice, the friend who checks on everyone's well-being, the humorous personality who lights up player lounges, the athlete who never hesitates to encourage young rising talents. These stories paint a picture far more detailed and deeply human than any ranking or trophy ever could. And while the tragedy she faces is deeply personal, the response has become a unifying moment for fans who often find themselves divided by rivalries or national pride. Messages like, "Stay strong, Aryna, we are with you," and "Your pain is our pain," have flooded timelines in dozens of languages. In Belarus, where she remains one of the most celebrated athletes of her generation, fans have gathered in public spaces holding candles and photos, creating impromptu memorials of solidarity. Meanwhile, supporters across Europe have organized virtual spaces for sharing prayers and comforting words. It is a rare moment when the competitive world of sports pauses, softens, and collectively wraps its arms around one individual. Despite the tragedy, insiders say Sabalenka remains surrounded by close family members, trusted friends, and a strong emotional support network that has been with her for years. Sources close to her emphasize that she is taking things one day at a time, and has no immediate decisions regarding her tennis schedule. In fact, many fans have expressed that tennis should be the last thing on her mind right now. They want her to prioritize healing, processing, and receiving the comfort she desperately needs. Any return to competition, whenever it happens, will be entirely on her terms, and the entire tennis world seems ready to support that journey. One of the most powerful reactions came from fans who have followed Sabalenka's rise since her early teenage years. They've watched her overcome setbacks, rebuild her game, withstand criticism, and transform herself into a Grand Slam champion. They remember the press conferences where she spoke openly about anxiety, heartbreak, overwhelming pressure, and personal challenges. They remember the tears she shed after both victories and defeats. And now, they are returning that emotional honesty with support, knowing that this moment in her life is bigger than any trophy or title. Experts say the emotional toll of such a tragedy can take months or even years to process, especially for someone who lives under a global spotlight. But psychologists familiar with athlete mental health note that the strong outpouring of public empathy may help Sabalenka feel less alone. Because when the cameras are off and the stadiums are empty, athletes often find themselves left with emotional burdens that even the most supportive team cannot fully lift. The global tennis community becoming her emotional anchor during this time could have a profoundly positive impact on her healing journey. Sponsors and corporate partners have also expressed compassion. Many of the brands Sabalenka works with have released statements offering her as much time, space, and privacy as she needs. Instead of pushing promotional content or commercial messaging, these companies pause their campaigns to show respect. A gesture like this reflects how deeply Sabalenka has connected with her partners, not just as a marketing figure, but as a human being worthy of care. For supporters, seeing billion-dollar companies prioritize empathy over advertising reinforces the seriousness of what she is going through. In sports commentary circles, analysts are discussing how moments like this remind us of the humanity behind elite athletes. They spend years cultivating discipline, strength, and mental toughness, but personal tragedies don't discriminate based on how many trophies someone has won. Analysts point out that Sabalenka's willingness to share even a small part of her struggle demonstrates remarkable vulnerability, and vulnerability is often a greater measure of courage than any athletic achievement. Across social media, fans are sharing their favorite Sabalenka matches, not to highlight wins, but to celebrate the passion and energy she brought to the court. Clips of her 2023 Australian Open triumph, her emotional post-match speeches, and her legendary three-set battles have resurfaced as reminders of her fighting spirit. But these reuploads carry a different tone than usual. They're shared not for entertainment but as symbols of strength, love, and encouragement. Fans want her to know that they remember her not only as a champion on the court but as someone who uplifted millions through her perseverance. Tennis academies around the world, some of which look up to Sabalenka as a role model for young athletes, have held support gatherings. Coaches have been sharing stories with their students about resilience, kindness, and the importance of mental health. Many young players wrote handwritten letters expressing how Sabalenka's determination inspired them to keep pushing through their own struggles. These letters, filled with heartfelt words from the next generation, show how her influence extends far beyond professional tennis. As the days pass, supporters remain committed to standing by her. They continue sending messages, starting hashtags, and organizing online spaces for collective support. One of the strongest sentiments shared across all platforms is that Sabalenka does not need to rush anything. Her healing is more important than any competition. Fans say they will be ready whenever she returns, but if she takes a break, they will stand by her just as strongly. The story has also sparked broader conversations about mental health awareness within the sports world. Advocates are encouraging fans to remember that behind every grueling training session, behind every championship point, behind every fierce on-court celebration, there is a human being with emotions, vulnerabilities, and personal battles. Sabalenka's tragedy has reminded fans that compassion and empathy should always come before criticism or unrealistic expectations. Many hope that this shift in awareness will create a more supportive environment for all athletes going forward. Meanwhile, close friends of Sabalenka have been vocal about respecting her privacy. They've expressed appreciation for the support but also emphasized that she must be given the time and quiet space she deserves. The WTA, too, has encouraged fans and media outlets to avoid speculation and prioritize sensitivity. This collective understanding shows that the tennis community is handling the situation with remarkable maturity and emotional intelligence. The world has seen Sabalenka roar in victory, fight through tears, rise after setbacks, and demonstrate extraordinary resilience over the years. Now, in her moment of deepest sorrow, the world stands with her, not as fans cheering for a champion, but as people comforting someone who is hurting. And through this immense wave of global compassion, there is a message echoing across continents: Aryna, you are not alone. As we continue to follow this story, the priority remains compassion, healing, and unwavering support. No matter how long her recovery takes, Sabalenka will return to a tennis world ready to embrace her with open arms. And for now, as messages continue pouring in from every corner of the globe, one thing is clear: the love for her transcends sport. It is a testament to the impact she has made on millions of lives, not just as an athlete but as a symbol of strength, vulnerability, and humanity. This is Trending Update USA. I am Steffan, and our thoughts tonight remain with Aryna Sabalenka. May she find strength, peace, and comfort in the love the world is sending her.